Hello there ladies and gentlemen, I am the Chall and today Chall Chat's Drfc Daily Reports. Tommy Rowe wants to step up to a level that he may not have been at before ahead of next season. And we have our first three pre-season matches. We've got one away and two at home. So before we get started, make sure you do like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell so you never miss a YouTube video. Stay tuned for more videos throughout the rest of this week. We've got some theme park videos coming up. We've got some more Doncaster Rovers content as per usual. We also have Chall Chat's Love Island every day, so stay tuned for that. Nice little series going on there, discussing a bit of TV. And for now, guys, let's get straight into this one. We also have some interviews coming up, hopefully in the next few months, so stay tuned for them. But let's get straight into this one. Let's talk about Tommy Rowe first of all, and a big story that's come out in the Free Press today. Tommy Rowe will embark on his 20th campaign as a professional footballer next season, and apparently he wants to make up for what he admits was a below par campaign last term. The 34-year-old made 28 appearances for the club but suffered from several injury setbacks. Injuries to several teammates also saw him deployed in defence for more of the season, stifling attacking threat. Now, he took 1 week off before the hard work began. Now, Rowe's official comments are as follows. Last season was disappointing for me with the injuries. I managed 50 games the season before, in 21-22. That was positive, but it came at a price. I had an injury that set me back for the off-season. I just feel I did not pick up any momentum with that throughout the season, and I look forward to putting that right. It's going to be a long, hard slog for me this year, he said. I'm going to have to go another level that I've probably never been to before in order to be better than last season and past seasons and bring the best version of myself back. The main thing for me isn't doing just the norm what I have always done, because I'll come back as the norm next season. With these young players today, you have to got to step ahead physically and mentally. I've got to give myself every chance to come back and be the best player at the club. I want to be the best player in the league. That's the only target I have for the start of every season, so why change it now? So obviously this is a very interesting story indeed. I feel like this is going to be a very intriguing situation as it develops throughout the season. First of all, I like Tommy's ambition. I like the fact he wants to try and become one of the best players in the league, or the best player in the league. And that's the kind of mentality that we need around the club right now. And to be fair, to an extent, we have sorted that mentality out in some respect. We've brought Grant McCann back. We've showed what fans have been crying out for quite a few years now, and that's ambition. They've asked for ambition. The fans have demanded ambition, and the board, like them or not, have somewhat delivered that. They've brought ambition back to the club with the appointment of Grant McCann, with the return of Cliff Byrne, with Ian Lawler back, with Richard Wood in the club, with George Broadbent, hopefully is going to be our sort of long-term Ben Whiteman replacement. And with Jamie Sterry as well, who on his day could be one of the best right backs in this league. And with more signings to come, they are bringing in ambition, and they've releasing the players that haven't done enough for the club since they've been here. That's ambition. You're clearing what I would brutally honestly like to call dead wood. At the end of the day, if you're not performing, you're considered dead wood. So at the end of the day, the club have done right. The club have done right, and that kind of mentality, that kind of elite mentality, is what you need to build the club forward again and get us back on the right track. And Tommy Rowe's thinking the right things. He's thinking the right things. He's saying the right things. Now it's all about performing the right way. And Tommy Rowe's one of the experienced players. I know a lot of people are like, yeah, but he hasn't got the legs anymore, etc., etc. Tommy Rowe is still vitally important to the dressing room, because his voice and his leadership qualities will definitely carry those young players over the finishing line. And it's that kind of leadership and that kind of vocal in the dressing room that we need to carry that team forward. So I think that Tommy Rowe is crucial to us, not just on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see how he kind of handles next season and handles the situation in front of him. It's going to be interesting to see how it all unfolds. Our second and final story today is all about pre-season, and of course we've got three pre-season matches. We've got Rossington, Maine on the 8th of July, Sheffield Wednesday at home on the 25th of July, and Port Vale at home on the 29th of July. So first of all then, Rossington, Maine. It's our first visit since 2021. Promoted to the Northern Counties East Premier League for the first time ever, they have great players such as ex-Rovers Academy stars Kean Johnston and Cody Pryor, and ex-Grimsby, Barrow and Chester striker Ross Hannah. So Rossington, Maine for me is definitely a very interesting choice. I feel like Rossington for me would be a wonderful opportunity to stay local. This is a great opportunity to be in a position where we can stay within the area and get that kind of local tie-in. And of course, with Rosso, they'll bring a big gate to the club, to Rossington, Maine. I think we'll definitely bring a lot of fans to Rosso. So it's good to get that local tie-in. I know some fans are still not happy the fact that we aren't doing anything abroad like other clubs are. However, there are positives to maybe not going abroad, and one of the positives is that we as fans can afford it a lot more. So I think that not everything has to be abroad, in my opinion. I think that having that kind of local tie against Rosso, and I think having the training camp in our local area, I think adds some community aspect to the club, and I think it adds that kind of aspect to it. So I think Rosso is going to be a nice clash. Obviously, it's going to be interesting to see what our squad will look like ahead of the 8th of July. How many players come in? Are we going to take any trialists on board this year? It's going to be interesting to see. But Rossington for me definitely want to watch for fitness wise especially. Next up then, Sheffield Wednesday. Now then, this is on the 25th of July, the Tuesday. Now this is all about a 7 PM kickoff, which I've got to be honest with you, it's not the greatest time. However, I think there are certain factors for that. It may be to do with Wednesday's pre-season schedule, could be pressed for a certain time slot for Wednesday. So I think it's, got to take things into consideration with things like this. Now, this is our first pre-season match against Sheffield Wednesday since 2017, where we lost 2-1 at the then known Keepmoat Stadium despite a goal from Liam Mandeville. Now, they've just been promoted to the Championship under our ex-manager Darren Moore, who will return to Keepmoat/EcoPass Stadium for the first time in over a year. Now, they have many great players such as Barry Bannon and the son of Dean Windass, Josh Windass, both of whom have now scored in a playoff final at Wembley Stadium. Of course, those of you who watched that final against Barnsley will know how close it was to going to penalties. But just that last minute header from Windass from the cross, right place, right time, and the celebrations. I mean, Punk Chef on his stream was going mental, and the fans at Wembley Stadium were just going equally as mental. It was just a fantastic moment for the Owls, and obviously it's their first season back in the Championship in a couple of seasons, and they finally got out of League One. It's a tough league to get out of, despite Ipswich and Plymouth storming the top two. It's still a tough league to get out of, and Wednesday in the end they did it, and it's going to be interesting to see how they do in the Championship next season. Finally, then we have Port Vale on the 29th of July, another Saturday game, just like the Rosso game. Rosso away, Port Vale at home. Now managed by the caretaker boss Andy Crosby, who takes charge of the 18th place League One club. The Valiants have some decent players in their midst, such as ex-Wigan Athletic winger Gavin Massey and midfield maestro Ben Garrity, who recently signed a brand new 2-year contract to stay at Port Vale. Now, Port Vale, from my understanding, from sort of previous times and previous pre-season matches, I believe this is one of, if not the first times we've faced Port Vale in pre-season. I mean, at least for the last decade or so. Comment down below if any of you can remember any other times that we faced Port Vale in pre-season. But as far as I'm aware, in a decade, this is the first time we've faced them in a pre-season match. So I think this is going to be very interesting indeed. Obviously, Port Vale were promoted via the playoffs last year, and it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what happens in League One next year. Of course, it's the league that we want to, go into, and I think it's going to be very intriguing to see how they cope with all of that. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen, that is your first 3 pre-season matches. Obviously, we're still waiting on 2 more away ties. I believe they're going to be non-league clubs, which is usually the norm in my opinion. But let's look at the 3 fixtures already announced. Rossington, local, non-league, bring some money into the club. Can't argue with that. The 2 home ties, Wednesday and Vale, and I've seen some people criticising the Port Vale tie and the choice to go with Port Vale. The reason why I'm happy with that is because I feel like if we bring it, first of all, we're playing Sheffield Wednesday, who is a team. This is one of our Yorkshire rivals, and also they've been promoted to the Championship. They were in League One last year. Port Vale are in League One this season, as well as last season, and it's the division that we want to be in next season, the season after next. So to face someone who's in League One and has got 2 years' experience in League One, who was promoted from League Two a couple of seasons ago now, I think it's smart. And I think it's smart because we're facing someone who's now got League One experience under their belt in recent times, and somewhat in a division that we want to get back to. So I think that it's smart. I think it's people sort of counter-argue and say, oh, why didn't we then go for someone like a Barnsley or a Derby or a Reading now as well? And I think we have to look. Don't get me wrong. Port Vale is going to be nice. I think it's good to see the Port Vale fans come to the ECO Power Stadium for the first time in quite a bit of time now, and I think that it's going to be very interesting indeed to see what happens. So there we go, guys. That is pre-season. That is the end of the Drfc Daily Reports. Make sure you do like, comment, and subscribe. Obviously, Chall Chats Love Island is coming this evening before the next episode. Stay tuned for that. And for now, I'm the CHALL. Ta-ra for now.